Hello, and welcome to Pure Bad Taste, our awesome, the bestest, the brightest, and the podcast on this whole planet. Of course, with me is here James and Roddy. I welcome you guys. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Dad. You?
Good.
Oh, I'm just doing awesome and great and bestest, as I was saying.
I'm on a bank holiday weekend, so it's all good.
Like when now I'm thinking about it, like when I say bestest, like I know that's grammatically incorrect, like obviously. But the thing is, like it's used as like it's supposed to be grammatically incorrect. But when I'm saying it, it might sound like I don't know that it's supposed to be grammatically incorrect. So now I'm
Do you
thinking
have
like,
an accent?
what?
Is it because you have an accent that you think that?
Yeah,
Or
like I think
because-
that like it might seem that I just like said it wrong because I thought that it's like I can actually say best and bestest, which
I mean, some people say that in English as well, though.
yeah, but I mean yeah, exactly. That's how it's like it's said because it's wrong. That's why it's said that way.
It's like even words like, what is it, technically in English language, worst isn't an English word or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, but what I mean, like if you because it's like a hyperbole of it's like if you're trying to be more hyperbolic, so you say like best and then you say like bestest, even though that it doesn't make sense because the best is already best, it's the best as it can be, and you add the est as like basically overstatement of that. Yeah. It's the same with like it would be more ideal. Like that's stupid because like if it's ideal, it's perfect already. Like it's it cannot be like any better than that. So like you cannot say that it would be like even more ideal because that's the definition of the fucking word. It's the same with perfect. Like yeah, it's like no, just like grammar stuff. Yeah, that's fun.
But sometimes, I think sometimes in terms, human language is very bendable, but I think it's more the fact that you feel like best may not be the best word at times. Like it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't describe how you feel. Like bestest makes it feel. If you feels more than the best, it feels
Yeah.
almost even
It's-
more than. So
it's
that's-
just
Even
hyperbole.
though it's grammatically, yeah, even though it's grammatically incorrect, it's at the same time you're describing how you're feeling in
Yeah,
some
no,
cases.
but-
The right words aren't there.
But that's the
And that's
that's the
okay.
problem with like any kind of hyperbolic expressions because like people start using them so often that basically they negate them in that way. So like if we would be actually using best just if something would be the best, yeah, like that would be like enough. But the problem is that like for example as Dylan Moran had a stand up and there was the word awesome, right? He was talking about how like his kids use awesome inappropriately for him, like yeah, this is not awesome, it's not like so yeah, so I was thinking like the same thing basically.
I
And I
suppose,
just
yeah,
keep
the
imagining-
more you say something, the less it means. Like how everyone was saying epic for those like 5 years, and epic stopped meaning epic.
Yeah.
And most it means now is a games company.
Okay, but okay, what are your favorite like hyperbolic, like if someone sends you something cool, wicked, what do you use?
We're Scottish, man, so anything that we say tends to be like it's just an affirmation more than anything else. So we'll probably give something credit where it's not due. So if one of your pals is like, "Oh,
Baseball.
I just passed my driving test," and it's like, "You're 30 years old." Like, yeah, you're only just now learned to drive. Yeah. Oh, that's smashing.
Okay, so I actually need to go like,
That's more. It's basically taking a word that's positive, but the way it's being said, as in
Aye,
you're basically just
very
underplaying
hard.
it.
It's very hard to give or take compliments from some people because when it's all about tone more than anything else. Like if someone's like, "All right," you like that can either be that they're agreeing with you or you just going, "Oh yeah, I'm pretty much the greatest athlete to ever come out of my school," and someone goes, "Aye, right."
Because it's not even. You can't even just call it sarcasm because it's kind of beyond that.
yeah.
Here, it's like, I'm sure you are. Doesn't mean I have to believe it.
But okay,
That kind
okay,
of thing.
maybe James, you will bring us like you will say the word that you use for this like amazement. Because like I actually like Miss Whispers, like right, amaze balls. Yeah, that's good. Awesome
And awesome
sauce.
sauce, which
I mean, like
also
it like
things are just
they are not good, but at least it's something, like not like Rory's evasive answer of the question.
I'm trying to think in terms of
There's not really anything you can use though.
Like
Smashing
I'm
is a
actually
pretty
going
good
through the conversation with
Smashing's a
you
good one.
just to find
It's just-
if like what you actually use.
Also, why is there Army James? I'm very confused. But I'm getting confused with my own name now. But I'm more. Sometimes I say, sometimes
James, do you know
I
that
say
it's
stuff like
actually not just your name, right?
there can only be
There
one.
are other people with the same name. Or did you actually
I know,
thought
I
that
know.
like James and Giant Peach was about you?
It was a story of my childhood. How dare you disbelieve it?
Okay.
Times of that peach where they shaped a man,
Yeah.
Friends I've lost.
The
But
spider
anyway,
there, yeah, I get
but-
it. Yeah.
There were some dark times, man. But some words I've said in the past, fan-tucking-fastic.
Hmm.
Like, I can either say that either seriously happy for someone, or most of the time it's like, good for you. Actually, good for you may be the one.
But it's like that's
As in-
good for you is really like it to me it sounds really sarcastic.
It depends on the tone.
Yeah, I
Again,
get
There are
it.
three tones. There are three tones. One where it's actually appreciative and celebratory. The other one is sarcastic, and the other one is
Okay,
okay.
the problem there is probably that I've never used it in my life in non-sarcastic way. That's the problem. Like that's how I use it. Like, yeah, good for you. Yeah. It's like, that's the hidden sarcasm, and then of course it's like good for you.
Okay, Christian Bale, calm the fuck.
Yeah, I was actually going for it. I just didn't want to yell that out.
No, I get it. Although I know Roddy could do a good impersonation of that, but we're not tonight, buddy. Maybe at the end of the pod. Maybe at the end. Well, save it to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And
actually
now
like
doing a
your
Rambo.
your reply here was excellent, James. I'm looking for. Yeah, it seems that the Roddy doesn't use like single word affirmation this way. It's maybe it's true. I'm just like going through our conversation, just like looking for.
Oh god, yeah, like whenever we're planning shit in Messenger.
Yeah, just like like
Ah.
like because like you said excellent, okay, so like okay that can be used, yeah, of course. Like I like to use brutal. Yeah, I like that's for me. It's actually like when I see something like it's cool in the same way as you would say like wicked. So I'm like saying brutal. Yeah, that's brutal.
What about
That's like,
okay? What about saying the word nice? As
nice.
in
Nice.
some tones it could be nice, and other times like nice.
But I'm still using cool a lot. I mean, like it never. I mean, like that never lost its ring. I would say. Yeah, cool.
I harken back to Groovy sometimes just for the Evil Dead reference more than anything else.
Admittedly, that is fairly epic. Of which, are we going to try that Evil Dead game when it comes out, the multiplayer thing?
Ooh, I want to, but I want to see what the reviews are. I say that because I'm shallow, but also, even though the last two Evil Dead games that I did play on Xbox weren't particularly well reviewed, I still enjoyed them because you had Bruce
they?
Campbell coming back, you had Sam and Ivan and Raimi, the guys who helped make the movie, and I think it was genuinely pretty fun. It is what it is.
I mean, I'm still harkening back to the very bad times. Was it Hail to the King in PS1?
That was the very first one. Yeah.
Which it's like, oh yay, Resident Evil controls, but none of the charm. Yay!
Evil Dead's kind of weird with the tone that way, though. Like, if you've ever seen them, like the first one is kind of a campy horror more than anything else, with some regrettable tree rape. Second one, the tone shifts wildly just for the sake of like style, but it works. So you have Ash have these like existential horrors creeping in on him, but then it's just all out slashing the shit out shit. And then Army of Darkness, of course, is its own thing. Army of Darkness.
But it is amazing. I still love Army of Darkness because it's basically just over the top. It carries the humor from the previous film, but just has a bigger stage to work with. And it's fantastic for it.
I did like the remake, though. I liked what they were doing there. They just like, oh, you want horror? And then you were, Yes, it's like you want horror.
I kind of don't.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, I
call
do.
it. I don't. I mean, I don't call it a remake, even though the original Bruce, well, the original Ash appears at the end.
I am
It's kind of like a
confused.
reboot in itself. But it makes me think: does that mean he's part of the same universe, or is it some weird universe crossing thing? Because blarg.
It must be a universe crossing thing because can't it can't exist in the same thing because the events are different.
Well, think of things how they're happening in Ash versus Evil Dead, where there are different timelines.
Martin, do
Maybe
you have
something
any
along-
take on this whatsoever? Or are you out of the kind of Evil Dead loop?
Nope, I'm just like I've never seen any. Not
I
at
would
all.
say, I mean, even if you haven't seen the films, I'd recommend watching the series. All 3 seasons are now on Netflix.
Well, the
Which-
question if it's like on check Netflix, obviously.
It is
but-
on check Netflix. Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah,
Which
no.
we should put. Roddy, do you think we should pull up a trailer for Ash versus the Evil Dead in here?
Oh,
Just a
please
trailer
not!
for,
Not!
like,
I'm
first
not
season.
ready. I'm not ready.
You're not ready.
I'm
Or are
not
you
ready
still
for
adding
it.
things?
I'm just like,
God damn it!
oh, Ash versus Evil Dead. Yeah, it should be on. Like this one will be on Netflix. Yeah, definitely. Like this one will
Good,
be on Netflix
which-
because it's Netflix. So yeah, like Ash versus it's yeah, it's here. Episodes.
Told you, because
Yeah, it's 10 episodes. Yeah, it's all here.
oh, only 10, but there
Yeah.
should be. I mean, there's going to be 3 seasons worth at this point, but maybe it's not.
Yeah,
all
3
come
seasons.
across.
Yep, 3 seasons. Yep, 3 seasons. Of
okay.
like the first season had 10 episodes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just like
which
need to join
I'm-
to the room. That's the first thing that I because I still like I haven't uploaded my trailers and stuff. But I also wanted to
I'm-
like finish this because I knew that you will. I knew that you will know what the reference is for because like Vojta is saying here, you use cool a lot because you always say it at least 3 times in a row because I always say cool, cool, cool. Why do I do that?
Well, all I keep thinking is cool, 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 and all I keep thinking is community. For
Oh,
some
of course.
reason, to be honest.
Yeah, because Abed in
It's
community
freaking
says cool, cool, cool. Yeah, so I'm saying that. Yeah, the same thing.
But then,
But
of course, there's also Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well, with Jake kind of going cool, 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 cool.
Cool. Yeah, but like it from me, it's Abed from community. But that's the thing. Like, how many things do we actually use that like some people have have associated with us, but they are from other stuff? You're like yeah, I know, like just
Well,
generally.
When it comes to people like Roddy, he's too random for anything to stick. It's like trying to put darts into jelly. They'll stick in.
I'm not really sure because like I've hear him like repeat a lot of like sexual lobster references, you know, it's just generally just like he's dropping them and like if you know you will catch it, but if you don't know these things, like it just sounds something random that he said. And that's the thing. Like it's for me even like for example that hello. You know, like this when I'm just that I just use it general as a greeting because I'm like saying like hello even like when I'm speaking in Czech that's how I write I just like write hello and it's from Warcraft. It's from Warcraft the second one and it's like because that when you clicked on peon no just the general the human one he was like hello. And it was so I was like I started repeating that and then I like start using it just general as a greeting from like my maybe age of 13. So I was like using hello as a greeting and then I basically just incorporated as my way of greeting people. Just like I always say hello. Even though it doesn't make really sense most of the time.
I keep thinking I may have done similar, but I need you guys to bear with me and see if you remember this. So I keep thinking whenever I say things like hello, it's like, hello. And I keep thinking back to why I kind of do that. And a part of me just feels like I've watched a lot of Tim Curry.
Okay.
You hear that nice. Yes! And I know I've done similar things, but...
Well, here's a kind of one. Like, how much of your brain and how much of your mannerisms are influenced by pop culture? Like, is it better to be influenced by pop culture or by your actual culture that you're in? Because I think with pop culture, you have, like, you always know where you're getting your references from and why you do things. You're trying to emulate characters that you like, and you like all the kind of references. Cultural stuff can be a bit more muddied if it hasn't been explained to you. So to answer your previous question of like what affirmative kind of phrase do I use mostly, it's probably smashing. I think smashing really encapsulates a lot. Like someone goes, "I made a cake," I'll be like, "Oh, that's smashing." And I didn't know that smashing isn't an English word. And I was like, so smashing isn't an English word. The way I'm using it, smashing, with my accent and inflection, isn't English. It's Gaelic. It's smashing. S accent MATHSINN, smashing. And it just means that's good.
Okay.
It literally translates to that's good.
I wonder. It makes me want to ask my Welsh friend Luigi, depending if he's even watching this at all, because I know there's a lot in terms of Welsh that match up with the Gaelic. So I kind of wonder if there's maybe a similar word in this case for same kind of thing, maybe.
And English just like stole it. Those fucking English.
Tries to borrow remember, English borrows everything from everyone.
Harking back to Tim Curry.
Yes, nice link. I like the link. Oh, smashing! Oh God, yes. Although now I'm remembering all the Nigel Thornberry memes and all the designs on everything, including what was it? His face on top of Ariel from Little Mermaid.
I mean, it was everywhere. But I like that's the thing. Like, I seriously don't know that character like at all. Like, I mean, I never seen it in anything because like I didn't watch the thing that he's supposed to be in. But I know his name is Nigel. I also know that accent completely, and I know all the memes. So it's just like the perfect example of this like pop culture osmosis, because like I have never seen anything with him, but I know it like so intimately, like this way.
Like the same thing with you're seeing the image of Neil Patrick Harris basically going true story. Some people may not know the show it's from, but yet it transcends past it. That they know it's a character, they know it's a phrase, and just in a small similar way.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but it's like sometimes it's just like sometimes I can even like with some kind of like pop culture that goes around quite a lot. Like it works in the way that like I've never seen some show, but I completely know the show. Like I would say like even like Supernatural. You know, like I've never seen an episode of that. Like I've never seen like it's so often like quoted, and like I see a lot of gifs and stuff like that. So even though that I didn't watch the show, like I've read so many descriptions of it that like I can on like very basic level pretend that I actually seen it.
Of which I do have to do little things since we're talking about Supernatural and the actor Jensen Ackles. He now finally gets to be a Batman. Yeah. But in animated form for the long Halloween, they're doing the whole DC animated thing. But he previously did Red Hood at one point.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, under the Red Hood, which is like
voice for that one. Although he does play it up, like the whole crowd, like Sam.
Wasn't it one point in the series he was trying to say something along the lines of "I'm Batman"? Of which he's also going to be. God, he's going to be in another product by the same guy that did Supernatural, the Boys. He's going to be in the next season.
Sick.
Yeah, he's basically going to be.
Oh, I know what part.
I know what
part he's going to play.
Soldier Boy or something it's called.
I hope it's going to be as fucked up as it is in the comic.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. I've been more. That's the thing. I actually do have a trailer that'll link up to something else that I've seen on Amazon and fucked up things.
I'm also ready.
But we've got other stuff to talk about first, of course.
I'm also ready. I can play trailers now.
Okay, so I have a trailer for.
So if you want to talk about something that you watched or seen, you know, like
it is something I've watched.
Yeah, okay.
As in, it's something I have been watching, of which there's only 3 episodes so far, but the next episode is tomorrow. Unfortunately, it is on Amazon Prime, so I am sorry, Martin.
No, I'm actually going for the Amazon Prime now because they offered it for like £2 or something for a month right now.
Well, you could get the Stars thing that's in Prime for like $2.7 a month, but the Amazon Prime thing, if you're just the video thing rather than going for the whole post thing, you could pay for like £5-6 a month for it. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But otherwise, it's a thing called Invincible. It's a show called Invincible, and originally based on comic books written by the guy that did the comic books for The Walking Dead, and he's going into superhero territory. That's actually pretty damn good. So let's see if I can get it playing.
Knock it off, Todd.
I think Amber's been pretty clear about how she feels. I'm nothing like my dad. I want to be just like you.
I've fought to keep this planet safe. Your power's got to be due any day now, son.
Morning! I'm scared, Dad. What if I can't do this?
Follow me. Slow down. Land. I said land. Stop! Get up.
I'm actually getting used to this a little.
That's not good.
You need to be better. After everything he's done, how can I live up to all that?
You need to decide what kind of hero you want to be. That was you! In the blue and the yellow?
Why don't you meet the team after school?
May we count on you in the future?
Yeah, I think so.
And bored of this.
Son, we need to talk. What I'm about to tell you will change everything.
I wasn't ready before. Now I am.
You being a superhero is the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. Now take me flying or I'm gonna tell everyone you're invincible. Sorry, not sorry.
You get into a whole thing where it feels almost like typical superhero-ness, but some of the episodes are like, okay, there's some darker shit going on here, and I want to see how it all turns out.
That's exactly how it
But I
seems
hate
from
that-
the trailer.
Yeah, as in, you're getting a small step of everything, and it's well voice acted. Like, as you see, you've got people like J.K. Simmons and all that. You've got, I have trouble pronouncing his name, but he's like Pimento in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Jason Mantzoukas.
Thank you.
I was just
Like, he's-
thinking how expensive can be Oscar winning actor, you know, like to voice a character.
I mean, that's what I'm wondering, especially because it's well animated. They have so many decent voice actors. You've even got Clancy Brown, who, anything superhero, Clancy Brown is somehow involved in some shape or form.
He's a demon
Because of-
detective. Although, if you like, J.K. Simmons is in it. But did you know that J.K. Simmons' biggest gig for most of his career has actually been voicing the yellow peanut M&M in the M&M adverts?
Oh shit! Yeah, fuck. I
Aye,
keep forgetting
that's
that's him.
Is it?
Because you basically got the guy that did Fry from Futurama. He's
Yeah.
the other one. He's red.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't seen that many of the commercials, I guess.
They used to be in the cinemas.
But I've just I've seen this show just on YouTube because I was watching some these Dota Dragon's Blood summaries of the episodes. I was like, yeah, let's go through some these analytical channels that are like, yeah, maybe this means this and this means this. So I was watching some of these videos, and then by autoplay it started this Invincible. I was like, oh no, I don't want to watch some kind of anime blah blah blah. I didn't know that it's this because
Because it's bloody as fuck as well.
Yeah,
it's written by the guy that did Walking Dead, for fuck's sake.
I mean, it actually seems quite now I'm used to that this kind of visuals from the Dota Dragon's Blood, because that's bloody in the similar way. Have you tried it, by the way?
No, I keep meaning to. I got more time this weekend, so I'm giving it a chance for Dragon's Blood. It's just, I like kind of animated shows like this ever since I used to watch stuff like the Boondocks, which was amazing back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Depending if you've watched it, right, Roddy?
Yeah. They have the one of characters, everyone's kind of confused about whether they should be offended by or not. It's a racist white character who has the exact opposite of the skin disease that Michael Jackson has. So skin
Vitiligo, yeah. Vitiligo.
And his skin gets darker as time goes on, so he actually looks like a black guy, but he's actually a racist white old guy.
Except in actuality, he is actually a black guy. He's just never went inside. They don't want to crush his.
I have watched Dota though. I think Martin, you mentioned last time that you didn't like the animation too much in Dota because you know the animation tricks and reusing shit.
Yeah.
They take a lot more liberty in Invincible.
Oh.
It kind of shows like they definitely save all of their budget for the actors and the big set fight pieces. Like the rest of the time, it's just like flappy mouth. The characters don't really have a lot of.
I mean, I don't mind that.
I don't think the animation has too much versatility, but it's good.
I mean, like I don't mind that. It's just that I was like saying that like it's obvious that the money is somewhere else. Like it's basically the same with the Dragon's Blood. Like if you like the voice actors there are also like sort of like big names voice actor. Troy Baker.
It makes me think of things like it makes me think of like films like Watchmen, where you're getting a lot more talking heads, and I think a lot more budget was to make the Manhattan guy.
It's the same like what I like even with with the Dota Dragon's Blood. That's why it's so so how would I say that, like obvious where the budget went with the like big name voice actors that that sound exactly as they supposed to, you know, like you say like yeah, this like I can feel all the emotions in the voice, yeah, it's the right volume, everything is great, and then they interact with someone who's like B level at best, you like, or you know, basically like the C level voice acting, and it's like, oh fuck, that was rough. That was fucking rough to hear that.
Speaking of C level voice acting, have you guys played Watch Dogs Legion?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know we have.
So I'm not sure if you've got the same thing over the weekend, Martin, but there was a free-to-play weekend for Watch Dogs Legion this past weekend.
I haven't played it for free because we played it when it was for money.
And I bought it myself. So one of the few good things about the game is the guy from Zero Punctuation helped punch up the script a little bit. As much
and obviously, you can tell where you punched up.
Oh god, yeah.
So, for those of you kids who aren't with the cool crowd over here, the cool boys. Ben Yahtzee Crenshaw runs a review site called Zero Punctuation.
It's amazing.
Fast-paced, misanthropic reviews. It's funny, tends to follow a similar pattern, but it's still good. And Ben Yahtzee Crenshaw was hired to punch up some of the writing in Watch Dogs Legion because it's a bit apparent that the writers that they hired kind of phoned it in.
Yeah. Also, like
and so did the voice actors.
He wrote most of the, I think, the computer, like AI lines, right? Yeah.
Bagley.
That's
I think he.
Obvious.
Yeah, as like you're telling it, it's like, why did they just get him to voice Bagley?
I'm not sure if I would actually want him to voice.
Though I do like in his review for it, he just has to put up there, yes, I did help out and all that, but it still doesn't mean I can't give it a fair review.
Yeah.
Oh god, it was definitely a fair review.
Yeah.
But where are you getting? But to get back to you, and why are you speaking about this game with the free weekend? How was your experience with it?
You know what? I actually got the game. It was on discount, so I picked it up, and I'm not disliking it.
Yeah.
Like, I like the whole concept of like technology as like some placeholder for, you know, things being actual magic, because that's essentially how the things work. It's how, like it's been said before, that the mobile phone, the future mobile phones that they have are just essentially magic wands for you to fuck about with, and that's fine. You don't really need to do the Grand Theft Auto like shitty little placeholder mobile phone thing that's no use to anybody. Like, has there been a game that's actually incorporated a mobile phone naturally or in some kind of good, unique way?
Apart from GTA 5, although that plays more just like a mobile phone, I guess.
Like the only other one is Animal Crossing, and that's because it's like a placeholder for the database stuff and the Nook Miles rewards. Like it functions like a phone. You look at it for messages. You look at it for checking your rewards points and
I would say
stuff that you're subscribed to. Talking
also
with your friends.
Cyberpunk. I
I
mean, like, because you can like finish quests from like basically text messages, and you know, like it works in that way. Like you can also like call people if you want. Like sometimes there's like bonus dialogue if you call them in the like good part of the quest that like it's appropriate for, and it's like yeah, I guess sort of. But like I think because the problem there is mostly like that basically the games have already all these other things that are like before the phone was implemented this way that you could have it as we have it right now. So it was like in games they already had the technology and it was incorporated in some like menus and stuff like that. So I guess it's like it's kind of like it's just making things more awkward if you're like trying to implement the phone there.
A kind of subgenre of gaming that I like is on mobile phone gaming. You have these games that you can get where your phone becomes the game. If that makes any sense. Basically, you just get a kind of ghost mold of a interface over your phone, and it essentially functions as another person's phone, and you have to break into it. You go through messages, you use services on it, and you can. So, like this one, Innocence, is that you've picked up a stranger's phone, and you have to crack into it. Once you've cracked into it, these people say that they're going to come kill you unless you can do them a favor. And you're like, oh no, and that's the stakes because it's essentially you, and the phone is the game, and you use that to kind of do your modern detective thing and get around, get the codes. It's a little puzzle solver. It's a little digi thing. It's check all your puzzle solving Morse code shite. I think shit like that's fun. That's the only kind of way that you can incorporate a mobile phone properly into any kind of game. If it is the fucking phone, the rest of the time it's just a menu placeholder.
I used to remember when some games would interact with phones. I remember the first Watch Dogs you could do something similar. There was an app that interlinked with it. You could do sort of functions within the game, or also for like hacking to other people's games with said phone, which was a interesting kind of app thing. And then I'm also remember the weird app you could do in the phone for, well, everything from Fallout 4. Fallout 4 being researched anything for that kind of thing. And Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain? Which is odd.
I'm liking Watch Dogs Legion. If anything, I like... Combat's very basic. The driving's alright. The story's lax, but that's for the sake of it. There's no real connection with characters unless you kind of make it yourself. Like, they're inviting you to be creative yourself. Like, think of your own stories for these characters, like how they link up and like how you use them. It's like, yeah, I'm going to use my imagination and imagine a better game. And what you then have is like the best part of Watch Dogs Legion, I think. If you can ignore the tedium of item collecting, like that's a really tedious part of the game. It's the item collecting bits, but working them out, that can be fun. Like whether you have to call in a drone that you can ride on, or you somehow pick up a cherry picker to boost you up onto the roof, or you hunk your spider bot onto the roof and let that do its thing. Like working around obstacles, security defenses, solving simple puzzles, I think that's kind of fun, and there's a multitude of ways you can do that. That's the most enjoyable part of the game, is like the infiltration, disseminate and evacuate kind of thing. Like that's the most fun for me.
I tend to remember doing most of the game with my builder guy who has a lovely relationship with someone called Derek, but he likes to dress in a business suit because he still dresses for the job he wants. But most of the time he's helping out hacking. He ended up taking over because the other guy's too lazy, and basically flies to all his missions, drops a drone, and wins the day.
I mean, like,
that's
yeah,
my
it's
personal story with that.
It's mostly about making your own story with it. sort of. Like I thought, like for example, I thought that it will be much more fun to play with the hooligan. Like that was a big disappointment for me. Like like
Which
for
thing?
with the football, like you have this like football fans that they can call.
Oh, the
a
mini
group.
game, the keepy ups.
Yeah, like you can like no I didn't mean a mini game. I made a character of the like basically a hooligan.
Oh, the hooligan, right.
Yeah, so like ultras. And I thought that it will be like much more fun because like you have a like your item is beer and you can get drunk and you have like much like stronger melee with that and you can actually call your like basically your friends for a brawl. So you're like so I was like imagining it in this way, like you will just like X just a can of beer, then you call your friends and you go like for like to beat people up in a compound. It doesn't work like that. It's just like these NPCs are like they don't follow you to like hostile territory, which is like, okay, why the fuck do you have them then? Like if they are not going to the place that you are actually planning to brawl with the authority. So like why would you even like add that option? And like you cannot like this option is also blocked when you're in like enemy territory. So like why would you even like implement this? It's the same with the beekeeper. Like I was thinking like the bees will be much more fun than they are. Like you can use them as some kind of like you can remote control the sort of remote control the bees, and basically if you're already aiming the device at someone, just aim a gun and shoot the guy. That's like there's no point. That's the like big problem with that.
Yeah.
It's another case of a Ubisoft game where there's lots of interesting good ideas and too many bad ones kind of overpowering all of it.
I would say like it's an interesting idea, but there's like no point. That's the problem there. Like it's like you can either shoot the guy with your gun that you have on yourself, or you can aim different kind of gun that homes or bees on the guy that they will kill him. So like what's the difference of these like two actions then? Like why it's the same action at the end?
And
like
now I'm kind of wondering, are we ever going to try that multiplayer together then? Watch Dogs, since it is out now, isn't it?
Also,
how does
like
the multiplayer even work?
You have it like PS4, I guess, right?
But I can get the free upgrade to PS5 as well.
Yeah, that's great. I have PC.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're talking about you go for PC and there's no cross-platform.
Yep.
I get you. Unfortunately, we will not be doing the PC Master Race because we'd have to buy even more expensive things to get them.
Yeah. Because like PS5 is so cheap. Well, but that's the thing. Like I'm actually quite curious about that. Like, what do you play on PS5?
PS4 games.
Admittedly. Although I'm happy about an interesting PS5 game, I'm technically getting for free as part of PS Plus in April.
Because like so far they didn't convince me at all to buy PlayStation 5. Like you have their like glorified DLC for Spider-Man. Let's face it.
Miles Morales was fun. I enjoyed that.
I have no plan to deny that fun. Like have no, but it's a DLC basically.
I mean, yes and no. It's weird.
I mean, like it's not.
To be honest, it
could be DLC. That's the point.
It's the same feeling I had with Assassin's Creed Rogue, where it feels like an extension of Black Flag, but at the same time, it's its own standalone thing.
And do you know why it feels like that? Because it is. That's the thing. Like it's.
Yeah, but it just feels weird to just call it DLC, especially if people are paying.
Yeah, it would be much better if you like.
That's the bit I hate.
Okay, yeah, it would be much better if we would call it as it was called in the like the past time, the glorious history, which was expansion set. It was expansion disc that you had like before DLCs. We had expansions, which were
admittedly
like pretty much the same game, like the expansions for the game that you already owned. I mean, like one of my some of my most favorite games are expansions. Like, for example, just Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne was great. I mean, like, that was awesome.
Dota came from it.
Yeah, exactly. Dota came from it. Then,
effectively.
like, for example, Half-Life and Opposing Force was great. Like, Half-Life Opposing Force, like, that was a great...
Portal?
Yeah. Well, Portal, no, that was like its own game, basically.
But it's still using basic things from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Half-Life thing,
like
and the fact was
it
part of
is,
the
but
orange
it's a.
box.
The thing is, like, it's expansion. If it's like adds some stuff, but it's basically the same game. But Portal was its own game. Like, there was like nothing, because it was based on the portals, and they were never in any other game. And like without it, it's like completely different game. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like it's the Portal is on its own, but well, Half-Life Episode 1, Episode 2, definitely expansions. They were actually sold as expansion discs. That's what it was called at the time, before the DLCs came and basically became dominant in this.
With Episode 3 coming at... Never.
Yeah, but I like what's your problem with DLCs? Like, you're buying the what it's called,
Season Pass.
Season Pass. Yeah, like you should love DLCs because like that's exactly what you're buying.
Admittedly, the thing is, Season Pass, it's only good because you're getting things for cheaper, but I tend to wait till very later on where game and Season Pass are cheap as fuck. So it is not pay the full price. What I'm worried about nowadays...
Yeah, but okay,
not,
so you don't have a problem with DLCs, you have a problem with expensive stuff.
Well, expansions and DLC are kind of... Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, the problem isn't the DLC itself, the problem is that they are exploiting the DLCs to get more money from you for something that is not worth the money. That's your problem.
But admittedly, but... to go into the whole discussion, there are bits where I support things like DLC because of things like, for one thing, a lot more games are being bought secondhand. Companies need to make their money in some way to actually, you know, pay for the developers and everyone else. So yeah, DLC is created in order to get some of that money back. As long as that money is actually going to the developers and not just to shareholders' pockets is the one thing I have a problem with.
Yeah, I would say I need to argue. Sorry, I need to argue with Vojta here because, like, he said, like, Portal is using assets from Half-Life, yeah, because the developers initially, yeah, that's true, okay, and now they decided Portal is part of the Half-Life universe. I totally agree, but the problem is that's the same,
it's like, original.
The thing is that, like, it's not Half-Life in any other way. Like, it's still its own game in the way of, like, a gameplay and the way of, like, telling the story and all these other stuff. So it's like, it's not an expansion because it completely just changes the concept of the game. That it's like, it doesn't, like, the visual is not the important part of that, I would say. You know, it's not about the visuals, it's really about just the gameplay itself. So okay. Why we were talking about? Yeah, we were actually. I never changed it from Watch Dogs. Yeah, like Watch Dogs. Now I can actually. Are we switching topics to something else, or do you still have something to say? Because I want to.
It's more checking what everyone else has been watching or playing.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just
my thing of Invincible. So.
Yeah, okay, so I should say something. Well, I was actually watching for like 3 weeks ago, because we didn't have more episodes and then we were talking about other stuff, but I was watching this lovely series on Netflix.
British police now believe that former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia were poisoned with a nerve agent. They are calling it a deliberate act.
Recent events have put a spotlight on one of the world's oldest professions.
Officials at CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia were concerned about a mole.
Spy agencies are seeing signs that North Korea is constructing new missiles at a factory that produced the country's first intercontinental ballistic missiles.
The chancellor's cell phone may be monitored by American intelligence.
Espionage and its many techniques have been employed from ancient times to present day. The craft was created against a backdrop of geopolitical tensions. It's a world of smoke and mirrors, danger, and clandestine operations.
You don't want to expose all your sources and methods, how you collected the information, who provided it to you.
These are the amazing true stories of the world's most secretive operations and the devices that made them possible.
Every government in history has wanted to make decisions based on the best possible information.
These are the dark ops, told by those who were there.
Orders were fairly simple. Find Al-Qaeda and kill them.
During the last 100 years, numerous individuals were targeted for assassination.
Outsmarting the spies requires the world's most cutting-edge equipment and technology.
Miniature cameras, transmitting devices, you would have secret writing, you would have microdots.
Technology has and always will play an essential role in clandestine communication.
In the 21st century, technology itself is becoming a spy.
There's an old phrase about counterintelligence and espionage, and it's a wilderness of mirrors. That you go into that funhouse hall of mirrors, and all of a sudden, you've got the one side's watching us, we're watching them watch us, and no one's trying to get caught.
So this is a documentary, like several episodes. Like I think that's like 8 or 10 episodes of that, with like assassination and special forces and like video equipment and all this stuff. I have to say, like, first of all, like, it was apparent, I think, in this trailer as well. It has the most, like, I would say, talent-lacking voiceover guy like ever existed. Like,
making the whole thing sound boring, even though it's actually very interesting.
Yeah, like I like several times, I had to focus on his voice because it was like, can you like be more boring? Like, you know, he's trying to sound excited in some way, but it's just so dull and it's unbelievable. Like at least like most of the time it's like the professionals talking there, like, you know, like with from the organizations and stuff. So yeah, they make it like more exciting, but that's fuck. I hope that he will lose his job. Like he never gets a job again.
Is it kind of one of those things where it's like, Sergey was later taken out back behind the building and
no, that's the like the, you've heard him like
his
it's
body
the
spread out along the countryside.
It's the inflections.
There's no
in some
excitement.
way.
There's no. It's the idea with David Attenborough. You can feel his passion for stuff in his documentaries about the wildlife. You're feeling that energy, that love, that.
But here, like
this
he's
guy's
not.
basically, I'm just reading off facts.
Yeah,
in a
but
script.
like you've heard it there. Like it's not that he wouldn't use some like inflections. It's just like it doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about. Like he doesn't get it. It's just so annoying.
Basically, effectively, I mean, I kind of think most voiceover folk. I mean, you can have some talented people, but it's more to
backdrop
depending if it's a subject they're interested in. So it makes me sad that they didn't get someone who'd be utterly fascinated by this, like a voice actor who would. But then it.
Yeah, just like listen to it like for a few seconds. Yeah.
Backdrop of geopolitical tensions. It's a world of smoke and mirrors, danger, and clandestine operations.
It's like
I
don't know what's the problem there.
Almost sounds like it's Trump saying it.
Like he's trying. He's obviously trying. Like, but it's like.
The voice reminds me of something out of Roddy. It reminds me of something out of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series of. Hello, I'm Esperoba. Would you like to have this baby? It's like that, and I'm just like, wow.
I don't know. I felt it did sound a lot. The guy does sound a lot like Trump when he tries to put inflections and stuff like, it's the greatest that you'll ever see, and the best you'll ever know. It's like, you don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Are you talking about spycraft or your apparent lack of dick?
But it's like
concerning Donald Trump, it's all I can think.
But still, it's pretty informative. I would say like it doesn't seem that hyperbolic. Like from the trailer, I would say that it sounds like too hyperbolic, but I would actually say that it's like trying to be quite measured in the way, like even like because when you're going through the history and they are talking about like about great like double agents, how they like what they managed to get, and you can actually like find all this information. Like it's like most of it like are pretty famous stories, and as they are talking about them, like you see that it's like first of all that when they're talking about like modern technology, it doesn't seem ridiculous when you look at the like 40 years old technology, because like there's, for example, like hidden messages in a dot of a document. You know, like there's just like dot at the end of the document, and it's actually like whole hidden message, and they were actually able to do like write a whole like several sentences in that dot, like at the time. And it's like fuck, that's good. And then you like they actually show you like that they can have, because you have chip here, you know, like just generally, but they can have like really small like chip all over that can basically just from the vibration it can record several hours of talking. So you know, like voice recording, which means that like anyone with a credit card can be like have a bug. So that, which means like it's fun in this way, like you're still assuming, or at least I am or at least I was assuming from like these cop shows that you need to have a wire, you know, like some recording device, you know, somewhere. But no, it's not necessarily. You can just like have basically even some kind of just card with you, and it can record voice without any problem. It's like, yeah, man, that's kind of fucked up. And it's also like it's nice about the history of that, like how, for example, when the like Sovietsky Soyuz, how it's actually called, USSR, yeah, like they were like making the building American embassy. They built the building, and it was like the whole embassy was like bugged it was just built with recording devices everywhere. So when actually when Americans like took over the building and it's like said like this is our embassy, they had to like bulldoze the whole building, even though it was like brand new built for them, because it was so like fully bugged that they need to bulldoze it and build their own building there, which is like, okay, that's fucking ridiculous.
But it's more like, it's basically you can't be too careful, so it's like, yeah. I can get the logic. I mean, I don't know, it kind of makes me think of Aberdeen Castle. When there used to be an Aberdeen Castle, Robert Bruce took it down, so then the English wouldn't have anywhere to go back to in safety.
No garrison.
Hence Castlegate.
That's smart.
Did they mention like political assassinations? Like, what comes to mind is the likes of Georgy Markov, who got jabbed in the leg by a fucking umbrella that was filled with ricin.
That was like third.
But that's the 70s. So I'm wondering, like, even to the 90s, where they're just like, yeah, we had a needle about 10,000 miles up in the air. We managed to, correlate where he would be. We did the calculations and then shot him in the face.
As you do?
No, they are. I mean, what they were saying that it's mostly done still by poisons that are like very difficult to trace, like Novichok, which is so they are talking a lot about Novichok, which is like I think they had to be so pissed off that the whole Navalny situation like happened, like when they were like finishing the production of it. It's like yeah, this will be so good, like these assassinations and stuff. Yeah, it was interesting to watch it. I think like some of course like some things were a bit hyperbolic and say like some kind of, but it was like there's I think the maybe second or third is Sexpionage. It's talking about agents that were basically like trying to fuck their way to informations, and like the most brutal for me, there was the spies in West Germany, like in the like West Berlin, when they actually managed to get married to some of the like clerk ladies there, and get informations from them. And when they are like stop being useful, they just like run away. It's like, which is again pretty brutal. It's like 8 years of their life, you know, like having children with them and everything. And it's like, my shit's over. Fuck off. That's it.
Imagine that, just like he wasn't even a spy; he was just playing the really long game. So, gotta get rid of this bitch, and then he just makes up a whole bunch of stuff about being a spy. Then he accidentally. But that's the truth.
They were actually saying that was the fun thing about it, because they had to admit that they are spies, because that's the best way how basically get like some informations. But there's like I'm a spy for Canadian government, which is like for allies, and I need these informations, and if I don't get these informations, I will be like relocated to different missions. So like if you don't give me these documents, like we cannot be together anymore. So they were actually using that as a leverage. Well, of course they were sending the information to Soviet Union, but you know, like it was like quite dark, some of these like sexpionages and stuff.
There was a famous case in England where a cop went undercover.
Yeah, I know.
And had a full family with a woman before he like revealed himself. He's like, one morning he woke up as a loving husband and father. Then he was like, ring off and it's like, "Madam, I'm going to have to speak to you for a second." It's like, "What's dear?" It's like, "I'm officer." It's like, what? It's like, "I'm going to have to ask you a few questions, madam. Have you been sleeping with a man suspected of being a criminal?" She's like, "Yeah, you." Like, it was a whole thing. Like, he properly fucked up her life.
I know.
Like, she felt it was a man she deeply loved, cared for, had a child with, and then he was like, "Oh, nothing to do with me." It was like a 2-year... Yeah, it was a 2-year-long relationship. And then it was intermittent because he kept going back to his real family, otherwise known as Family 1.0. And just being like, they were like, "Where were you?" It's like, "Oh, you know, working." And then he'd go to the fake wife and then be like, "Oh, you know, I love being a criminal." She wasn't even involved all that heavily. It was like,
yeah,
it was
like
a fucked up one that didn't actually bring any new information. It brought into question all these police practices, which, thank God, police in Britain have really upped their game, and no one is questioning them anymore.
Yeah, and since then, everything was great. After that, like, nothing bad ever happened. That was the darkest part of the...
That bad apple was poured. We all went back to running order. We're fine now. Shut up.
That was like 2012, 2013, something like that. Because our common friend Susan Kelly was writing about it a lot. Because like she was like kept writing about it. Like that's the only reason why I know about it, I guess.
I bet everyone should look at their stuff in journalism. They're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Although the thing is, all that talk of it is just making me think of that South Park episode of the police chief basically being undercover with the pimp, and then ended up in a relationship with him, and then there was marriage, and then it's like, "Shepherd PD, get the ground!" after he just carried her over the threshold.
Essentially, that was what happened with the cop in England. Yeah, it's much stupider than in South Park in some way. And that did include a man being banged multiple times in the ass and then shitting out cum into a evidence bag.
Yeah.
Speaking of, on that bombshell, we
have 1 minute. No, we haven't. Still 1 minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm seeing
Am I
9 o'clock in mine.
Oh yeah, it's 9 o'clock now. Do it. 10 o'clock for basically. Of which, for anyone who's not been here before, once it reaches the watershed, 9 o'clock for us, 10 o'clock for Czech Republic, we'd like to delve into some amazing things here. Basically, a fanfic based on our dear friend Martin Rota, right there on the screen. You can see him. Alright, which way do I point? Is it that way or the other way? I forget what the camera.
I'm not sure.
But anyway, but originally it's written in Czech, and then we get put through Google Translate, and dear Roddy, with his vocal talents, likes to read it out to some sexy saxophone music in the background.
Yeah.
For all of your pleasure.
Pleasure, that's the word.
Some
yeah,
words
exactly.
may be lost in translation, and that's okay.
Sometimes I explain some stuff which might like put it in more context, I would say.
Although I have to laugh how we've lost some people viewing this because, as we've just announced, the whole dirty times.
Yeah, it's
That's okay. They weren't ready.
Exactly. Fan
There's
fiction.
a lot to be had here.
Okay.
If
Let's
any of you need a moment now to drop your pants, lift up your dress, get the Vaseline, get the butter, get the oil, get the whatever toys that you play with, whether they be a vibrating rabbit or a Gundam. Get ready for some sexy sex. Full of sex.
The problem is that you are actually not sure what's going to happen there, so
sometimes.
if you're like promising sex, it might not be the things that happens.
For one of this stream, we talk about games, videos, and trailers and all that, but we do a little thing, basically talk about very bad erotic fan fiction about our friend Martin Rota. Roddy reads out.
Also,
hope you get the whole just now.
Yeah. By the way, I'm like so far I fucked several people. I'm also bisexual in the fanfiction, which is interesting. Yeah. Like I'm.
He's not in real life. We've tried, honestly.
I wasn't aware of that one. Okay. I told you were just being a really good friend.
All right. Let's set some mood music. Mood music.
Is there?
Oh yeah. Perfect. It's you. It's me. We're at a cafe. I brought a rose. You bought a coffee. You say, "Why don't you buy a coffee?" I say, "I have no money." You say, "What do you mean you have no money?" It's like, shh, shut the fuck up. We're being romantic. I lay the rose on the table and tell you this story. Chapter 12. Cupcake. From Martin's view. Brownie and I sat on the bed talking. She's amazing. It's not possible how it has changed in that short time. I shouldn't have kicked her out of the apartment like that. It is said that a person needs to cheat only when he lacks something in a relationship. I should have given her what she was missing. Not yet to reject her. Then she started taking drugs for me and... I'm a jerk. What, darling? Brownie asked, stroking my cheek. Nothing, Cake. I'm just thinking about how much I love you. I love you too. The most in the world, she said, rubbing her nose against mine. Someone rang. I'll get there, Brownie said. No, Cake. You can't bother so much with a baby. I'll get there. I think it means that bit saying there. But darling, you don't have a foot. Martin, it's realistic. They know you don't have a foot.
Oh, fuck.
Well, technically you do have a foot.
No, foot is what's missing. Yeah, I mean, I have prosthetic leg, but...
If anything, it's a better foot. Because it never gets pins and needles.
Yeah. It's bulletproof.
But darling, you don't have a foot. It doesn't matter, Cake. I can handle it. Who is it? I asked, slowly opening. Agrelius stood outside the door. You fucking? He asked. You have a fucking thin door. Sure, sorry, what do you need? Martin, you're really weird. Didn't you have a brain in that leg? What do you mean? The way I say it. Look, I came for Annie's things. I see, but the one upstairs is Brownie. So that Cake is your girl. Now, I'm getting confused, because with this now, it sounds like he thinks she's an actual Cake, which is a different visualization altogether. That you're having a sexual relationship with a pregnant Cake.
I think that's the point. Like, he never was introduced to Brownie, so like if anyone like says Brownie, he like doesn't understand that it's supposed to be in the name of the girl. So that I think that it's supposed to be a joke. That he actually thinks that it's a pastry or something. I don't know.
God,
like
I hope so.
Dessert.
So that Cake is your girl? How'd you know it's my cake? What the fuck? Eh? Annie, come get your stuff, he said into space. Crying Annie. peeked around the corner. At that moment, everything came to mind. We were so happy together. But now I have my brownie, whom I love above all, with Annie. Just a flight. We went upstairs. Who was that, darling? Annie. You came for the things she left for the cake. But honey, Annie doesn't have any stuff here anymore. I threw them all away. We'll have a Mimi. So I needed a place. Guessing Mimi is baby. Oh yeah, there's nothing you can do, Annie. We need every bit of the apartment now. I smiled at her with an innocent smile to make me understand that I was a friend. What happened to you? Definitely a fuck for both of you. Are you listening at all? After all, you talk like two retards. Ooh, that's offensive. It doesn't make sense. Voito, we're leaving. She probably didn't understand. Much like I don't understand. She took Voita's hand and pulled him out. Slammed the door. I looked into my palm. It was as if I could feel Annie's touch there. Oh Christ, this hasn't been translated. I'll try my best. Brochinka. Will you please hand me the capsules in the coffee machine? I can't get over my belly there. Yes, Cake, I'm running. She was in her first month. She had no belly. It was cute to talk about it like that. End of chapter.
Yeah, thank you. That was no fucking. But yeah, that was
There
lovely.
was no fucking. There's a lot of drama happening. Like there's some drama happening. There's a lot going on underneath the surface. Like, how do we know?
I mean, it's getting there. It's getting there. Like I'm thinking about like TV deal. Yeah, maybe. Like there might be like 6 seasons and a movie. Let's face it.
I'm more intrigued with lots of frozen face of Roddy at the minute.
Yeah, like he should probably like turn on and off his camera.
I don't know. I'm kind of liking the face now. It encapsulates all my character. Hang on. Can you still hear me, Dad?
And now the stream will be fucked.
Everything about the stream is fucked.
Yeah. Okay, I should probably change my lights back. Hey Google, change the light to white.
Perfect.
Okay Google, change the light to white, please.
Okay. Got there? Got there.
Yeah, I got
I
there.
live in a smart home.
Yeah. With a stupid Google device.
That's why you should be getting an Alexa, innit?
How can you say that?
It's like you have to choose one evil corporation.
Yeah. I want to give my life to Google. I've already gave my life to Google. And don't
Basically
eat.
saying, you shall become the first Google human.
I'm on a diet. You shouldn't eat when I'm like watching you. Because I'm too fat. So I need to, that's the problem with me. I actually have like a huge pack of these like awesome gummies. It's like 900 grams. And I'm yet to eat one. Yeah. It's horrible.
I'll just stick to my meant to be Irish stout, which I can't say because of copyright.
Okay.
It showed Guinness there, you bastard.
If you can read, which you can, good for you.
That, little known famous symbol of Guinness, like that isn't known in the world.
It's a bass guitar, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bass guitar. Yeah, I know.
By the way, here's some mouth noises for you.
Discord
really
doesn't really like catch that. Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't send it because it's like voice activated and it's not enough. Yeah.
It only understands.
Nothing.
It only
Still
understands
nothing.
Roddy, it only understands digestives and ginger nut biscuits. Anything else, it just goes
Yeah,
blank.
no. It's
ginger nuts. It is.
Yep.
But otherwise, that's the thing. Both me and Martin showed things. What have you been watching or playing, dear Roderick?
I also was showing.
Well, Dad, I was telling you that I was playing Watch Dogs, but I think we've already seen a trailer of that. Martin's already done the promo for that, so anyone interested can go watch that. But no, besides that, I did watch a movie and then stopped watching the movie because
fascinating. Tell us more.
Unfortunately, the movie turned out not to be too good. I'll show you the trailer and let you decide for yourselves.
Ooh.
많이 무서웠죠.
I heard the first one was well received, right?
So, for all you non-Korean fans, which also includes me, but I liked Train to Busan. So, Train to Busan was one of those zombie apocalypse just happens kind of deals. And it happens to this father and daughter who are on Train to Busan, so the father can drop off his daughter to the MIM. And the zombie outbreak happens both outside, but also inside the train. So they keep on powering through in the train, and they keep on closing off compartments to try and isolate the zombies, and the zombies keep on breaking through. But they're also dealing with passengers who are assholes who don't know what's going on and are trying to actively kill people so that they can get away. They play it out in kind of your typical allegories, like an asshole guy is meant to represent most politicians in the world. Another guy represents like the working schlub who's just trying to do his best. And the dad is just kind of a asshole dad who's trying to find who's now starting to appreciate that he has a good life when it's all been torn apart by zombies. And it's a good movie. It's claustrophobic because it's all happening in one direction. It's like you can only go one way in the train, and there's assholes blocking the door because they don't want to deal with any zombies. Like, that's genuinely like tense. That's genuinely like, oh fuck, the stakes are high in this. Train to Busan 2, there's no train.
Obviously.
And it just becomes another zombie fodder thing. So where you have the genuine threat of like, how can you make zombies threatening again? You put everyone in an enclosed space where they can't run, and there's only one place only one direction to go. Like, that's brilliant. In this, they're all out in the open. There's meant to be a horde, but they attack one at a time, and some of the effects are janky. Like, you saw there's like a pile of zombies, but they're obviously like wheeled out. And it's only 3 actors on top of very obvious like pillow zombie things that are just going, bleh, and then they're like shaking the arms for them. It's janky. It's not very well done. The characters are just kind of, why should I give a shit about them? There's no stakes. There's no stakes. Like, there's no stakes. That's the thing. There's no stakes. There's no.
And I fucking love
threat.
steak.
There's no like wave of zombies. Like, that's what these things keep on getting really close to something genuinely frightening with zombies, which is just numbers. Single zombie, anyone can fuck up. But it's just like a number, a horde, like a wave of bodies just tumbling towards you. There's a genuinely frightening image. Game of Thrones did it. Train to Busan did it, and this doesn't really do it, but it does it a few times. You saw there in the trailer. And it's a genuinely terrifying, like, especially for me who has an anxiety about big crowds and loud noises. Like, that's a genuinely terrifying, like, concept to me. But every time it happens, every time you see that visual, every time it kind of plays out, it's just that, then it's cut, and then it's zombie one at a time, zombie one at a time, zombie one at a time. It's like, fuck off. Let it be a wave. Let it be like something that they have to run from. Stop making zombies the fodder when they're meant to be like the force of nature. And Train to Busan 2 isn't very good. Watch the first one.
Okay. I'm just wondering something with because of stuff you're describing. Have you seen the recent thing? What's going to be coming to PS Plus? Like for the new month in.
Oh, is it World War Z?
No. There's zombie Dead Army 4 or something, but the other thing is Days Gone.
Yeah.
And a part of me wonders if you would be into something like that, because some of the stuff you're talking about, that does kind of happen in the game, especially when you're dealing with the hordes, and it's just...
So, I have played Days Gone. I played it a few weeks ago. I think I mentioned it to you guys. And I actually enjoyed the game.
There
was actual stakes, and when the zombies attacked, there was a genuine threat. And then when it, like, completely just upped the ante when you found a horde, like, that was like, oh, fuck, kind of thing.
Especially when you get
I play games on hard. I play games on hard all the time, and the hard difficulty for Days Gone was almost too much for me to handle. Like, that was just like, fuck right the fuck off.
I mean, like, it was the first time... Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, it's the idea that I like the story and everything else. Sure, it wasn't like the super game that everyone always wants it to be, but I think it's something that needs to be recognized. And also, I hope that gets like a sequel. Like, I really want to see what happens next and how they'll up the
I think they are getting a sequel. They teased one with one of the kind of mission ends. So, like, you deal with an insane cult and zombies, and then at the end of one of the end game missions, you get like, oh, there's actually more going on that's much worse, and you're getting.
Oh, at the very end, yeah, which is like that bit was like, what the fuck? But then I'm also kind of wondering, would it be following the same guy, or would it follow this other guy that we kind of meet towards in the last area? You're going into this new snowy area and all that. Well, past the snowy area. And you're meeting this army guy, and he seems like the only decent guy around.
Have you played Days Gone yet, Martin?
No, I haven't. Like, I actually wasn't that excited to see it. You know, like the first time when they like, because like everyone was like, oh, zombies and a horse, and I was thinking, Left 4 Dead did it. Like for me, it was. It didn't feel like, yeah, of course, like the hordes are nice, and I've seen it, but for me still the concept of zombies is kind of like overplayed to death.
The thing is, these like more than zombies. They're more than zombies, though. It's like, because it's effectively people becoming a new species, evolving and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that was never explored in any medium, like, definitely because I'm a Legend doesn't exist, right?
Okay, so this is more along the lines of I'm Legend, then we'll go with that.
Yeah, no, like, what I don't have a problem with it. It's more like I'm kind of like fed up with zombies, like, for some time.
No, I get it, and I think that was the problem with Days Gone. It was coming out at the cusp of basically everyone was getting just so fed up all the zombie featured shit and all that. But since it's free on PS Plus, would you consider giving it a go?
I would consider playing Left 4 Dead again. No,
that's why we're getting back. That's why we're getting Back for Blood.
No, like for me, not really. Like, I think I have like more interesting games for me to play. The problem is that, like, still it's not a genre that I like necessarily like. It's not like it's a third-person shooter, right? At the end, yeah, it's like, for like, if anything, I prefer first-person shooters. That's that, and I still like prefer stuff like more, I would say, like strategy games or, you know, RPGs. Like first-person RPGs, that's like my kind of favorite kind of game. So I'm like, I'm not really that interested in this game. Like, but as you were saying, like with this Horde, I was actually like thinking that was the first time that I had the feeling of the Horde was in Left 4 Dead, and it was like, yeah, when they like, because that was the first time that they done it, I would say properly the movie like, you know, like that's, yeah, like you go, you shoot some zombies, and then there's a loud noise. And the music goes, you know, to the overdrive, and like, oh, we fucked up. We just like fucked up, like, and like really badly. And then you see like zombies everywhere. And like, of course, the Left 4 Dead 2 make it more visceral and like more bloody, which is like added a lot, I would say. So yeah, like, and since then I wasn't like really like I kind of like filled my zombie quota there, and I never got back like to some like 4 seconds.
That's fair. I think Days Gone, you definitely do build up your character to a level where the zombies do just become fodder. Like if you get an RPD light machine gun, you can just go through an entire horde yourself at a significant distance, which is fun to do, but inevitably does take away the threat. So I would say if you really wanted to up the ante, Days Gone does have a survivalist mode. It's where you have like shit that will spawn again in another area. The survivalist one is like, oh, I got ammo from here, but why am I not getting ammo from here anymore? And the game goes, oh, you already got it from there. There's no more ammo. Welcome to survivalist.
I just realized that I actually played one zombie games a lot, like in last, let's say, half, or like year maybe. But it was Arizona Sunshine. Yeah, I mean, like I enjoyed it. But it was like first VR shooting game this way. Like when I have you played it, James? Because it's on PS VR as well. Arizona Sunshine.
See, what's the name again? Sorry.
Arizona Sunshine.
Arizona Sunshine. Not something I'm familiar with.
I mean, it's one of the like I would say like best PSVR shooter. I mean, like I had like that. That's a great zombie game. Like it's not a horror. Like it's like it has this very unnerving parts when you go to, let's say, to like mining. You're going to the mining town and there's like gold mine, and you're going to the depths of the gold mine, and of course like there's not that much light. And it's like it's quite stressful there, but it's like not a zombie horror game like by itself, but it was like great like zombie shooter for me. At least like there's like a lot of zombies, lot of shootings, and of course you're doing all the shooting, which is fucking, because like it's something else when you actually have the controllers in your hand and and it's the great thing was that you have like only like single hand guns, so you have like some double barrel shotgun that you just reload, you know, with the 2 shells, and you can basically combine them this way. So you can have like one handgun and double barrel shotgun, and then you can switch it with like SMG. So you have like 2 guns on your belt, 2 guns in your hands, and also like grenades and stuff, and it's so great. It's just like
it does kind of remind me of something I remember playing on a VR thing with an HTC Vive a little bit, although I remember, and I do have video footage of me screaming my shit out because I'm never so good, but it's a zombie game in VR, because remember, irrational fear of zombies.
Yeah.
It's been slightly getting less with more of the zombie games I play, which help, but VR will be the interesting one to see if I fucking cope with it.
I mean, like it starts really like lightly. It doesn't start with hordes or stuff like it. So you like learn how to shoot, and you are like it's I don't know, sometimes the game is funny, sometimes you have like there's interesting set pieces, and also like it actually ends like you getting rescued by a helicopter, and you're standing on top of the hill and you're just waiting for the helicopter to come, and there's like tables with guns and with ammo, and it's just like, okay, the zombies are coming and I need to basically to shoot them before the helicopter will come here. And it's just so awesome that you just I shut off all of my like SMG ammo, so I just like throw away the gun, then I like reach for the grenade launcher and poof, just like reloaded the grenade launcher, then I just like took the grenades. It's just like so great. You're like feeling like a superhero. Like here are like action hero. Like it's just perfect this way because you're actually doing these stuff. You know, like you just take the grenade, just throw it there. Yeah, it's great. I really recommend it. I mean, it's
definitely missing out on the PSVR or any kind of VR. Really, I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah, like this was actually like the first like that when I felt like this is what I expected from VR gaming. Like this is like pretty much what I expected there. Because I was using the Move controllers not for the like with the teleportation, but just like with movement, just general, which I like make it really immersive. But they like one thing that I didn't like about it that they added what it's called red dot on all the guns, which made it less challenging in this way. Like red dot aiming is not as much fun as like using the actual what it's called on the gun, the aim stuff. Fuck, I should know the name.
The reticle?
No, like what do you have on the gun, which you use to aim the gun? It has its name.
It's a sight or
yeah,
a
sight.
reticle?
Thank you. It's a sight. Yeah, and I was looking. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so you should play it. You should play it. It's great. I think it should be expensive. Sunshine. Also, like it was the first like VR game there, which was actually like I would say like full game, because I felt that I'm actually playing something that I would buy like on PC just to play it. Like it's not like because like most of the VR games that I played until then were more like an experience more than as a game. And it was like because like for example some kind of rail shooters and stuff like that. This was PSVR. I'm just looking for the price right now. Yeah, it's supposed to be for $12. Oh, yeah, that's a good game. Should I play the trailer just for fun?
Yeah, go ahead.
Arizona. Okay, I will find it. Arizona Sunshine, and they also like they support the PSVR controller. With the aim controller, if you know that one, it looks like a gun basically. That you can hold it like that.
Another thing.
So they.
So you're gonna feel like a man.
Yeah, I've played it with that. I also played with the Move controllers, and the Move controllers are better actually because like you get different weapons, but.
Peggy 18.
Juicy.
Yeah.
Meaty.
It's fun to shoot zombies this way.
I'm really looking forward to what like games like that will be like Arizona Sunshine. So inevitably we will have another zombie VR game like what PS5 will do, or what Oculus will continue to do. Because how old is that game now? Like 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah, this is like it's the release was 2017. Oh fuck.
Oh.
Yeah.
4 years.
I mean, like there was a PS VR release. I think it was like 2016 on PC.
That's still pretty good for the time frame. Like that.
Yeah.
Kind of holds up for what it is.
I mean, like it looks like shit on PSVR, of course.
Detailed one. I still like a highly detailed one. A game that really comes to mind for like zombie stakes is Deadlight. Is it Deadlight?
I think it's Deadlight.
You can also say
Dying Light.
Yeah.
Oh, Dying Light. Yeah, Dying Light.
Yeah. So Dying Light was first-person, scrappy resource builder one, and that genuinely got pretty scary. That genuinely got pretty scary when it was like nighttime, and it's like your flashlight has fuck all battery, and you have to kind of blindly run through the streets with banging into zombies. But then there's like a super zombie that's fast, jumps really far, and will fuck your shit up, given half a chance. The realism falls down at like when your character
you actually get like shit scared. Yeah, so I like that, and that's the game looks amazing. That's another thing. Like the game like looks actually like VR amazing.
Where Dying Light looks good, and like Arizona Sunshine looks like it has all the mechanics, but doesn't look necessarily as good.
Yeah.
Half-Life Alyx looks like it does both of those really well.
Yeah.
It's like, I got both, motherfucker. I got Gabe on my side. He says it can be okay.
Well, as I said, like actually the Half-Life Alyx was great with the like it gave me exactly what I would expect from this kind of game then. But I would say that the same actually the Arizona Sunshine has done the same in the way of like it gave me the feeling of being an action hero in zombie movie. That's so it worked exactly that way. Like in the same way as basically Alyx gave me the feeling of desperation, the horror, the fact that like it's 19-year-old woman that's like quite brave but still scared in like many situations. So it gives you that. So I was like I would actually say that it was a good experience, like both of the good experience. Of course, like Alyx was way better in this.
But it's no Half-Life 3, Martin.
Yeah, maybe there will be.
Half-Life 3.
I mean, we've seen the video at the end. We've seen what happened in Half-Life Alyx at the end. And it was epic. Well, so James, what have you been?
James.
Well, I was having to check for a game that was from the last month of PS Plus and try it with a friend, although initially we had difficulty trying to get the multiplayer to work. It's a thing called Remnant from the Ashes, and it's like a 2-year-old game.
Okay.
And I think you all still have time to download it if you've got PS Plus. So let's show a story trailer.
I might try it.
For nearly 100 years, the Root have ravaged the earth. An unending assault without reason. We are victims to a hatred that we do not understand. This evil will consume our world and the countless worlds beyond. Unless you rise to meet it. A trial by fury and blood. You seek the source of death itself. Prepare yourselves. They are here.
All right, gentleman Cthulhu, give us your review.
Well, still playing through. I'm only doing it bits and drabs with my friend from work, of which it's interesting. You get bits of controls almost have a slight Soulsborne vibe, a little bit. As in, you're definitely have to be careful in terms of how you attack, your shots, your stamina. All these things play in a factor, and some of the boss fights can be annoying. But it feels alright, although the initial part of trying to get multiplayer to work was a bit because first you have to go through all the tutorial. Tutorials are lame, and yes, that's a beautiful cat. God damn you. And because you have to do this thing after you go through tutorials, be it a crystal, get someone invited to game, just to give those tips. I might stream some more of it tomorrow. I might stream some of it tomorrow. But I definitely suggest people just to give it a try. It's on PS Plus. I don't know if I would ever want to buy. I was never interested in the game in the first place. Like when it was first out, I thought, oh, it looks kind of alright, but it's not really my vibe at the time. But playing it, it's like, this is alright. Kind of makes me wish it did. I wish they. I don't know if they ever did like release a demo or anything like folk like Outriders and all that did when they released the free demos. People could actually try them because it's got something, especially when you're working with a friend. And although it seems to be you're in teams of 3, maybe it could be 4. I'm not sure, but you're basically having to chase. You're either changing between your basically long distance hitter, mid range hitter, or up close kind of hitter. And the up close hitters tend to go for more axes and hammers and use shotguns. And you got your mids that have slightly longer weapons and a lot more pistols and other stuff. Although everyone can use all the same kind of weapons, but it's better using specific weapons for the stats you have for that advantage. All I can say is, give the game a try. You've only got a few more days before it's gone from PS Plus. At least add it to your library and check it out when you've got a chance.
Are you telling this to me, James, or are you telling this to people?
Yes. But otherwise, that was my thing I played recently, which I'm looking to play more, as well as the other thing I've got on my list that's multiplayer and I've gotten way too addicted to. And oh my god, your cat!
James, do you want to be a cat daddy?
I want to be a cat daddy.
Okay, you can be a
cool.
cat daddy.
But I'm not that cat's daddy. Martin is.
I like my cat, yeah.
She's adorable. And she's stolen. And although cat appears, we lose a lot more viewers.
No, it's not. No, it was actually because the streams like crashed, and it started to be like it started.
Yeah, why are we minus 3,230?
What?
Minutes, apparently.
I have no idea. I'm just trying to stream here. No. Why are you touching?
Keep you and the cat in shot. She's camera shy. She's like, I don't like this. People
no, like she's actually looking at the stream.
Oh god, she's like, what?
Yep.
What's going on?
Oh, careful, smack by the wires.
Yeah. Okay.
It's kitten time.
I actually I find out this is a much better angle. I would even say this is a better angle for.
It's like a full body shot with occasional cats.
Yeah, that's the.
I'm getting some very big moist critical vibes.
Moist critical. Oh yeah. Okay.
Otherwise, we have 20 minutes. What else should
we have 20 minutes. I want to talk to you about the I would say like the bestest musical that I've seen in several years. No, like I watched a movie on Netflix that I found out it's like there, and I will play a trailer, and you might even know the musician, like you might have heard of him, and it's.
I could hear the whole tune in my head. It was all there, I could see all the notes, and I just had to get it out.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside.
What did you say your name was again?
My name is...
Reggie!
Reginald Dwight.
Reginald? That's my granddad's name.
So how does a fat boy from nowhere get to be a soul man?
You gotta kill the person you were born to be in order to become the person you wanna be.
I'm thinking of changing my name to Elton.
But that's my name.
Yeah, I know.
You can be the best-selling artist in America if you desire. I was trying to do something bold. Why are you still something flashy?
Can you even play the piano in those?
Let them know who you are. And just don't kill yourself with drugs.
So how does it feel to be a star?
It's never gonna last.
Let's just enjoy it while we can.
First sleeping arrangements, kiddo. All of this is gone.
I just hope you realise you're choosing a life of being alone forever.
Don't we want to just sing without this ridiculous paraphernalia?
People don't pay to see Reg White. They pay to see Elton John. Sorry.
I know.
Do you even care how much pressure I am under? Not really. I'll still be collecting my 20% long after you've killed yourself.
Maybe I should have tried to be more ordinary.
You were never ordinary.
What a shy little boy you were. Look at you now.
So, as I was saying before, I was okay. Okay. So I watched the movie. I assume that you've seen it.
I saw it some time ago.
Yeah.
I still haven't. I should though at some point. Although I'm more just looking at the actor, thinking he's been around my calf.
Like, it actually feels that like he is going to play all the nerdy British celebrities, like like at any point, because like I've seen him like Eagle Eddie. And now like Rocket Man, I was like maybe how many other like kind of like nerdy British people exist that he can like portray them as?
I mean, he is involved in. I mean, he is involved in the Tetris movie.
That's Ruska though.
But
he's being like a Dutch guy who basically was one of the reasons responsible for Tetris coming out of Russia and becoming a worldwide hit.
Yeah.
That's the person he's playing in that.
Aaron Egerton.
Well,
for anyone who doesn't know, that's the actor's name. He was in The Kingsman.
Yeah. Kingsman, of course, but the thing is like I would say that like this is better than what it's called. It's better than Bohemian Rhapsody, at least for me. Like I like it better. First of all, like it's more I would say raunchier. Like it doesn't like this movie isn't afraid to portray him like in bad light. That's the first thing. The second
It does seem to be the case. Like I remember watching it and I thought I honestly didn't think that they would make him look bad. Like, they do gloss over still a shit ton of stuff that he is like, and well documented to be like, but the bits that they do allow, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's like, like this, like they should, like, they could, like, make it more, I would say, family friendly, but they didn't. But what I like about it, it's also like it's a musical. Like it is a musical, which means that like sometimes the characters start singing their feelings through Elton John songs, which is like I was like when I see it there like first time I was like that's I actually appreciate it because it's not just like the songs being played, but it's more Mamma Mia style in this way, which is like not something that I would normally desire, but it felt. Like I would say it fitted here. And the other thing is like the one thing that I didn't like about the movie is the way how it shit-talked his parents. Like that was like really like it was a really uncharitable to them. Like in the way of like they weren't like they weren't like the nicest parents, like in some cases, yeah, of course, but like that's not like most of the things that they were like, especially about his father, were just not true. Like in this, like because there's like it's portrayed there like he never supported him in any way. He didn't care about him. Like he was like completely like absentee father in his way. But that's not true. The father actually gave him the piano like when he was 3. That's like another thing is like he actually visited like several of his concerts. Like there are actually photos of him being with him in a green room like after the show. You know, like fucking like it's like several.
That it means it's more the choice of the narrative.
But that's the thing, like Elton John is actually saying like some of these things, like that they never supported him and stuff like that, which is like blatantly not true because like they're like people that are actually like going through his life, they like find so many things that are like totally showing that the parents like weren't the like best supportive parents, but they actually tried to like push him in certain direction and like try to give him some support.
That makes me think it's coming through the eyes of a narcissist. Then things are a different way through his vision.
Yeah,
like, they were never there for me. We were actually there for you. Oh no, you weren't.
Yeah, like no one ever supported my talent. It was a musical family. Like all like his parents actually played like instruments, so there was like musical family. They played instruments. Like there was like that's not how it happened.
I guess it'd be different if they were horrible and didn't support his homosexuality or something like that.
Well, that was another thing. Like like again, they weren't like champions of progress at the time, but still they weren't on the level of like, you know, like they were pretty okay at like for the time. Again.
Yeah, I think, although with that kind of in mind, I would rather keep that and then take away the one thing about the movie that I really didn't like, which was young boy Elton John. I, for some reason, just really did not like the kid who was playing young Elton John. I fucking hated him. I hated his voice. I hated his, like, theater kid shtick.
He's there for, like, 10 really minutes.
I know, and I hated those 10 minutes. Like, fuck off, you little shit. Like, it really contrasts sharply when you have, like, an obvious theater kid. And then Taron Egerton, who puts nuance, he puts depth, he puts layers, he puts a genuinely emotional big front for a very complicated character and makes you like him and appreciate all his talent and appreciate his talent as well, but as the character himself. And then this little kid is just like little kid.
Yeah, okay.
Thing is, now I keep thinking, compare that kid to the kid that was in Jerry Maguire. Would that kid come out on top, or in terms of being more annoying?
No, that kid was genuinely cute at the time.
Yeah.
This kid was like 10. He should know better. When I was 10 years old, I was already 15.
Of course
That's
you are.
not how maths work.
You're not how maths works, and yet here you are, star.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, like as I said, like I would actually recommend this one, not necessarily Bohemian Rhapsody.
I can see that. I definitely want to get that watch. Rather with Bohemian Rhapsody, problem with Bohemian Rhapsody is that I don't think I can see it ever since when I was before pandemic hit full swing. I was studying video editing at the college, and they were showing just one scene, and we had to ask. They asked us count how many cuts happen in this one scene by the Thames.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 150 cuts in one scene that was like less than 2 minutes or something.
I think it was 63 cuts in the space of 2.5 minutes.
We counted a bit more than that, but
I mean, like,
but at the same time, it was like that's still quite a lot of cuts for a small intimate scene by some pub or cafe thing by the Thames.
For this,
like,
I would
completely unnecessary.
For this, I would recommend Moulin Rouge, the movie. Like it's hard to get like 10 frames of of a footage, like in sequence. And it's like usually 10 frames cut, 10 frames cut, 10 frames cut, and it's like it's horrible experience to look like if you like when you start like if you looking at the movie through this like through the lens of understanding of editing, or it's unwatchable. Like it's for me it was unwatchable because it was like stop fucking cutting. I just want to see something.
Martin, I think you're being a bit harsh, especially since that isn't even noticeable. Okay. When on screen you have Scotland's most handsome man, Hugh McGregor, crooning at you.
Yeah, of course. Hello there.
Who's also back in terms of being in Star Wars.
Yeah, so are we looking forward to Obi-Wan series? What were our thoughts on that?
I mean, a part of me's thinking, is it necessary? I still want to watch it. I'm going to watch it. But at the same time, like, do we need to? Because what happens? He just ends up in Tatooine somewhere and basically being an old man hermit, waiting for the next chosen one.
Use the Force. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Do you just want to imagine that he spent all that time doing nothing, just like in a cave, like, well,
talking to himself?
Now that I'm done meditating, time to crank one out again.
Pretty much.
And unfortunately, due to cranking out so much, it's why he forgets about R2-D2 when he comes back.
Mother said this would affect my memory. Turned out she was right.
Cranked out.
I mean, they are sworn celibacy, right? So, like, I mean.
Which, I hate that I've read too much into the whole Jedi, Sith, Star Wars stuff. And I'm not gonna go into.
Yeah, I'm also like I'm not. As I was saying, like there's census. I guess that there's a census in UK as well, right? Is it right?
Yeah, we still have Jedi as a viable option.
Like that was my question. Like because like in Czech Republic it was one of the most like one of the like Czech Republic has the most Jedis like of all countries, like definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like it.
There's an actual Church of the Jedi somewhere in England, I believe.
Yeah, we actually that's the thing, like because the churches are paid, like it's like from certain amount of people, the churches like get paid the same way as like Christian and blah blah blah, and it actually seems that they were getting some money. But for me, my problem with that, like first of all, like I don't like it because they are like, kind of like fucks up the the questionnaire itself, because like it makes Czech Republic more religious than it actually is, which I'm not a fan. But the other thing is that like I don't like Jedis. Like it's fucking stupid to be Jedi. It's like why would it's like they have so many stupid rules. I don't like it.
It's because that's the thing. Jedi, extreme form of order, doesn't necessarily mean they're good. Sith, they're more about the whole path of freedom, but to the point where there's chaos and possibly destruction in their way to achieve their freedom they desire. They're horrible opposing forces to the point where apparently just the one thing I wanted to happen, like in the latest Star Wars film, was just there was no need for any of this. Force done. You don't deserve it. Done. I'd like that just to happen.
So, question.
Yeah.
Very important one.
Hmm.
After he was burned, does Darth Vader still have a dick?
I would assume no. Like that was my headcanon.
His legs were melted off, and then his legs were cut off, and then the rest of him was melted, but from the legs up. So does Darth Vader not have a dick?
Yeah, I'm thinking it was a decision by Palpatine. It's like, sir, should we let him still have the penis? No, he won't have any use for it anymore.
Good.
Cut it off. That's what I'm imagining happening. He should only be devoted.
Also, my headcanon, Darth Vader doesn't have a dick. Yeah, definitely my headcanon.
They never did state like how bad it was. Like that's definitely the thing. Every man appreciates his penis.
Darth Vader
if they had a horrible accident, the kind of the first thing you do want to know is like, do I still have my dick?
Does Darth Vader have a dick? Ask science fiction.
You're going to go into Star Wars territory. Be careful, Martin.
Judging by some of the classified holocrons that are put shortly after the events of the Mustafar incident, everything under Vader's upper thighs were gone. what was left severely burned. We now know Sidious intentionally did not give Vader the best reconstructive medical attention. It's entirely likely that Sidious let Vader's genital remain in an impotent, damaged state. Anger, isolation, hatred, and pain all pay compared to the negative energy from sexual frustration. Sidious never cared for the rule of two. He wants a subservient apprentice that was capable but proved no threat. He had Vader by his crispy balls.
No wonder he turned evil. Like, that's the point where he should have just turned evil. It's like, I don't have a dick anymore? Oh, I'm killing everyone.
So
this motherfucker will burn!
Does that mean
like my balls!
Does that mean when Vader was throwing Palpatine into the pitch, he's basically going, "This is for my dick"?
Yeah, I guess.
Wouldn't you? I would definitely kill the person who took my dick. Like, I would kill them, I would kill their family, I'd burn their house down.
But I would also assume it's like...
That's fairly extreme.
I mean, like... can you just imagine with this context, can you imagine because yeah, you can say that Sidious didn't save his dick, but there's someone else at fault, which is obviously Obi-Wan. So...
Well, he told him not to jump. He said, I have the high ground. He told him not to.
That's the point. It's the winning thing. I have the high ground, which means, I should stop what I'm doing.
No, but that's the thing.
He didn't. It's his own fucking fault.
No,
we've had that situation. I've definitely been in a situation where I told someone not to do the thing, they did it, and I punched them in the face.
Yeah.
And they act surprised.
Yeah, but that's the point. Would you, at that point, said, yeah, that was totally my fault, sorry, Obi-Wan, I not, now, never mind, it's okay. No, you would be, pissed at Obi-Wan, let's face it. So that's what I'm saying, just imagine the situation of, not having dick and balls, and then... actually meeting Obi-Wan on Death Star. Would you think it would be the circle is now complete, blah, blah, blah. No, that the scene would look completely different.
But now the scene between Vader and Obi-Wan have a different context now. No. When we last met, I was but the learner. Now I'm the master. At least I still have my penis.
I've been cranking it on Tatooine for the past 18 years. What have you been doing?
Killing Wookiees, motherfucker!
Yeah, did you manage to crank one out in that time? Son of a bitch.
Oh, see, now I kind of almost want a section in here where we give Roddy footage, and he has to dub over it.
I know that Darth Maul definitely doesn't have a penis. Because that got caught.
Well, yeah, that's obvious.
That one was for certain. We know that Darth Maul didn't have a penis anymore. That was Obi-Wan as well.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking
about, not exactly cutting off your penis.
Yeah, but
So every time... So don't fight against Obi-Wan, you will lose your penis.
That's a good lesson, I guess.
Yeah, that does seem to be a good go-to.
This thing does seem to be going towards the waste of people. What happened to, was it General Grievous? How did he get killed again?
He pried open his ribcage and then shot him in the innards.
Yeah.
Which is actually a pretty metal way to go out.
I mean, probably some testicles were somewhere there, but still.
Grievous definitely didn't have any testicles. His entire body had been... You know what? That seems to be the thing. That seems to be the thing with the bad guys. They don't have penises. That's why Kylo Ren could be redeemed, because he did have a penis. And Snoke couldn't be redeemed, because he was a clone who didn't need a penis. Mm-hmm. And the little ginger nut in the new Star Wars series was a little bitch, so his penis was probably teeny and didn't work. So he had to die.
Yeah.
I think it's a common thing. It's if you don't have a penis, and you did, then you're going to be the bad guy in a Star Wars movie.
Okay. That's big. That's huge.
And Sidious is an old man, so his balls will just be hanging low, and he won't have a penis that works properly. Because he's old.
So the question is, who had Kylo Ren's balls? His mom. No. Bad joke there, don't worry.
Can you just imagine Sidious just yes, once I've conquered the Jedi, I will rule this galaxy. Now leave me. I have to crank one out.
But
and then that's how. Isn't that how you get raised dad then?
I mean,
kind of.
Like
He's
even
not
before,
clone,
like when people are connected to the Force, they can communicate in some way. Like I mean, Obi-Wan was communicating because he was already dead with Luke, but maybe actually like Yoda at the end of the third episode was saying that that I can like teach you basically to communicate with your old master Qui-Gon Jinn, blah blah blah, something like that. And like so that was mostly what Obi-Wan was probably doing to like communicate with Qui-Gon Jinn, but maybe he was using the same thing as the like communicating with Darth Vader, just taunting him the whole time. Like every time that he cranked one out, like it's like using his like Force connection. It's like But it's
more you're seeing everything. It's like, please just stop. I don't need to see that waving around on my face.
Yeah, maybe.
That also goes for Captain Phasma, I've just realized.
Yeah.
So that's why she had to die so quickly. She didn't have a penis from the very get-go, so she had to be.
Hey, technically, that's not her fault.
Hey.
Blame the parents, really.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there was a like really substantial and important discussion that we just had there. So like now we actually can write the script for Obi-Wan series ourselves.
Just first episode, Obi-Wan cuts off a sand person's penis.
It will be mostly about just Obi-Wan going through the galaxy and cutting out dicks.
The thing I'm also surprised about for Obi-Wan is that the guy who is being, well, Anakin Skywalker, he's back being Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
As Darth Vader.
Oh, yes, apparently.
Yeah, but
part of me's wondering how they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, I don't know, he's doing a Force projection and taunting him as his old self. Which would make him why he's so crazy in Tatooine all the time. Because Vader keeps trolling him.
Yeah.
That's just one idea in my head.
You know, but I have a bigger question there. Like, why, like in the scene in the episode 4 in the Tatooine canteen, you know, like the Obi-Wan cut off the guy's arm and not his dick. That's my question. Why?
Because he's an alien, Martin. That's where his dick was.
Oh, that makes sense.
Why are you so ignorant about alien physiology, Martin?
Sorry, that was my mistake.
You don't remember what the alien looked like? He had balls up in his face.
Yeah, that's true.
So the dick had to be somewhere.
Down to his arm. The arm was the dick.
Obviously, I'm really sorry. That was really insensitive of me, and I hope I won't be cancelled for that.
Common sense, Martin.
Yeah,
Read
sorry.
some Thomas Paine.
How did our conversation basically got to the chopping off of dicks in the Star Wars universe?
Because it seems to be a theme.
Apparently.
Bad guys get their dicks chopped off. The good guys get their hands chopped off, which touch their dicks. It's all a connected thing.
I mean, is that what powers the Force? The chopping of penises?
I don't know. I think what powers the Force is cranking it, and the disconnection from that is what turns you to the dark side.
I'm just trying to think in terms of my.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's why like Jedi's cannot. They are in celibate. Yeah, because they're like if they would have sex actually, like and not cranking it, then like they would lose the power. So that's why they have to have celibate.
Just Obi-Wan in the corner of the cave, like, you thought this was going to be a show about me and going on adventures. No, this is how
like no, it's like a meditation in D&D, you know, like with mana. So basically that's how they get their force charge back.
The good thing is that you're not watching Alec Guinness do this. It's me, Ewan McGregor. You know you've wanted to see this, and you're like, yeah, I did. Sound up.
Okay, yeah. We should probably
per year for something.
We should probably like finish the year like this. This is the good point where to stop with our podcast.
Yeah, before it all falls apart. No.
Yeah. So, guys, I thank you for this like lovely conversation and for this like great evening. I of course thanks to our chat for being here and for listening to our really really important, some might say impotent, in conversation. And